Dilettantes from the new album which came out last Friday, I think, Life of a Party. That was a song called Stone. You must have come across Dilettantes, have you? Yard acts?
Well, I actually bumped into Whiskers at the traffic lights on last Thursday, and he's mentioned that the album was coming out the day after.
This is Whiskers, formerly of Forward Russia, who's helping putting this record out.
Yeah, and he pushed it. He sent me a link to it, which I haven't got around to listening to, so I'm glad I just did. It reminded me of Tune Yards a bit, actually. It was cool.
Do you know what? Actually, I hadn't thought about that, but that track certainly does a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. Lovely to see you. How have you been?
Good, yeah.
Don't look so surprised at me asking how you are. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, positive.
Yeah, good. What have you been doing? Because we've not seen each other in, ages, actually, isn't it? It must be 9 months, is it?
Millennium.
Maybe. I mean, I've seen. No,
Steve wasn't at
I didn't go to Millennium Square.
No, you didn't.
I saw you for a drink, right?
Yep.
But I've not seen you as a band for. How was Millennium Square anyway? Was that the try? Was it what you imagined? I don't know. What were the emotions like during the day?
It was a busy day. It was. I don't know. We were just kind of hanging out. We had all our friends' bands played, and it was kind of nice. We were distracted. And then for about 5 minutes beforehand, I was the most nervous I've ever been. I was proper nervous that day, wasn't I? Remember?
Yeah, you were.
For 5 minutes.
You weren't as calm and collected as you usually are.
No, I know.
I was nervous about that one. I think for obvious reasons, because it's 5,000 people, and I know some similar. I think Ryan's quite arrogant, but like our default position is that everyone hates us, particularly in Leeds.
So to be doing, to put it into context, this was as you say, 5,000. It's a massive. It's a massive gig for you. It's your biggest gig, hometown
That's a
gig.
huge amount of hatred.
Yeah. They'd all come to boo us for everything. Turns out they knew all the words. No, it was banging, that show.
And then you did a sort of globe-trotting tour in the autumn, which took you all over the place, didn't it? Where did you go? Where did you end up going? Was it China?
China was sick, yeah.
Korea, just before they had their
snowstorm
possible
and
revolution.
Yeah, we missed all that by about a week.
Yeah, we did.
Started it.
We were on the beach in Australia.
Well, that already. Yeah, and we were. Yeah, China was wicked. Mexico was class. America was all right. I kind of don't know how I feel about America. Japan was wicked.
Here's a question then. Does it fry your mind that there are fans of yours in places like China and Japan who are learning something about the British way of life through your songs? Do you see what I mean? You give that they're really into a band who are writing essentially, certainly with the first album, writing essentially about a completely alien culture to them.
Yeah, well, the mundane is always exotic to somebody else, isn't it? That's I was shocked by China because we had no understanding or expectation for it. We just got the offer and we thought it would just be a nice, interesting place to see, and we didn't know how the shows were going to be. And then it turned out that they were, probably the best crowds, definitely the funniest people. I had such a laugh, like getting to know people out there, and just one of the most curious and fascinating places I've ever been to.
Really?
And I can't wait to return. And next time we get back, as has already been discussed, I'm going to tag on a personal holiday at the end to sort of get outside of the cities and sort of try and soak up a bit more of this country, because it's absolutely, it's opened my eye. I think that's kind of why I wanted to tour, was to see places like that were so different from what I knew and from the Western world, and it is a truly fascinating and brilliant place with brilliant people, and I can't wait to go back to China.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's not the first time talking to Big Special earlier on when they first arrived at the venue, and they were saying, they've been to 23 countries in a year and barely seen any of them. But it whets your appetite. You see a bit of a place, but the idea of a holiday afterwards. I mean, if you've got the time, Why not?
Yeah, well, we'd all have holidays in different places, I think, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Joe'd probably stay in Japan and buy 14 pairs of trousers again.
Yep.
Again,
And knives. He buys knives and trousers.
Yeah, he bought an unbelievable number of knives, and his bag got quarantined for a couple of weeks.
Like chefs.
Yeah,
not-
chef's
not-
knives, not like stabbing
yeah.
knives, like slicing knives.
chef's knives.
Yeah, chef's knives.
Even so, that's going to be hard. Obviously, they were confiscated. Surely, so didn't somebody say? I think that might be a bit tricky at customs, Joe. Do you know what I mean? No.
Well, I'd go China. Where would you go, Shippo?
To stay at the end. Yeah.
Like New Zealand's pretty decent.
A place we've never played. Brilliant.
We were booked to go there, and we arrived there, but there was a big, massive flood.
So you've got unfinished business. Is that
Unfinished
fair
business
enough.
with New Zealand.
Well,
Maybe you should just start off with the full band and just leave people in countries until there's just one of you left who has to do the last gig of the tour solo.
Where are you going?
New York, always.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And is it weird? I know you made the decision that touring for long periods of time wasn't going to work for you, so you tour in shorter bursts now. But even so, do you go away, you come back, and the world feels slightly alien? I mean, I know some bands who go away for a while and they come back and it's, when did that spa open? You know, everything's different. Your friends have done stuff. You know, when did the Fox and Whippet shut?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You come back, life's changed. It's all weird.
When did English Teacher get nominated for a Brit Award? Actually, they're in. We've tag teamed out. They're in Japan now. Looks like they're having a great time.
Yeah.
Not buying knives or trousers.
You don't know. They might be.
Are you? I've got to ask. You on for the second album? You wrote quite a bit of it on tour. Did you have any chance while you were doing those dates in the run up to Christmas to write any material at all?
Well, no, we've ascended to such a height that we've now got 6 months to write an album without having to leave the house. So, well, I mean, we're living very mundane 9-to-5 lives in Leeds, going to the studio and treating it like a proper working week, and it's really, really healthy. And yeah, in regards to like how things change, I am so out of touch with Leeds. I feel like completely. I don't know what anything is or where anyone goes anymore. I don't know what clubs are still cool, but like, I'm loving going to work, coming home, cooking my tea and listening to a podcast every night. It's like, sorry, that's really boring, isn't it? But that's what's happening.
That's only one of us. We don't do that. We're out every night, fingers on the pulse. It's just James.
Yeah.
That's why this band works.
Yeah.
Takes all kinds.
So have you written stuff? Have you got? Do you start off with a song? My question is: have any of your songs ever had working titles that got changed? Have you got songs now, new songs, which just exist through a working title?
We got told off by James.
Yeah, we had a meeting about this the other day about our songs are being saved on the computer because we've had Lou Reed, Bob Dylan, Oasis, David
James
Guetta.
says he sent a very strongly worded WhatsApp message.
Can we
the other
stop
day.
naming songs after what they sort of sound like? Because then it sticks, and then we become indebted to that artist and their sound. So, so we're currently trying to erase all these stupid song names.
So
it just shows that I was listening to these lyrics either, because I'm like, well, clearly that would be the title of the song, and then everyone's just like, let's just call that one Bob Dylan. Because I went to see the Bob Dylan film, and then I came up with a song that sounded like Bob Dylan, and we sort of had to go at it, and then we went home, and Jay saved it as Bob Dylan and sent the bounce to everyone.
Yeah.
And then came the strongly worded email that, can we stop? Because I looked through the folder and there was also Lou Reed.
Yep.
Well, it was just called Lou, wasn't it? We've had Lou and Bob and Oasis.
Oasis, yeah.
Oasis was one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. That's what album 3 sounds like.
Well, I mean,
all
you
the
know,
classics, all
fingers-
classic
fingers on the
artists.
pulse.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Modern.
there's a journalist from Mojo magazine who's already finished the review. To be honest, now you've given them all the clues. Well, there you go. Obviously one of the last times we were in Leeds actually was with you at Belgrave Music Hall. That was Independent Venue Week, which was 2022. How important? I think I probably asked you this at the time, but how important are all the venues? We spoke to Emily Pilbeam earlier on as well, and Jez and Tim about the importance of venues in Leeds. And some of them, they come, they go. You know, as I said earlier, you know, the Cockpit shuts, Joseph Well goes, but then there's a new wave of venues, and this current setup seems good and quite responsible for the success of bands like yourselves.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, I mean, the thing that we are lucky with in Leeds is that it's natural for places to end and to die. So sometimes, like, you know, you say it's sad if Joseph Wells goes or if the Cockpit goes. That is brutal, but if they're replaced, then that's just kind of healthy in what it is, because culture shifts and people don't just hang out in one pub for 50 years. Like people move around, so that's normal. But it's when they're not replaced is when it's worrying. And I know that's happening in other cities, but I think we're doing well in Leeds for that to not be happening. So it's really healthy, and there's a good ecosystem that feeds and kind of grows bands, you know. And that's to do with the promoters being invested as well. It's not just the venues themselves; it's whether the promoters are active and have got their ears to the ground. And how they can step it up beyond that. And I think a lot of bands fall short when there's not that mid-sized venue. Whereas, like, one that I love in Leeds is the Irish Centre. Yeah. Which isn't in itself a sort of promoter venue, but I know Nath puts on a lot there. And I've seen some of my favourite ever gigs there. I saw Bill Callahan there. I saw Katie J. Pearson there just before Christmas. Yeah. It's like Big Brudenell. And it's so nice to sort of double the size of the Brudenell and have the same vibe. Like, you know.
Yeah. It's been lovely seeing you. I've got the nod that it's time to wander next door. We have Big Special playing live here at the Brudenell. After this, which we shall play you from Yard Act, you going to hang around, watch a bit of Big Special?
Absolutely.
Listen to our own song.
Yeah, we're going to watch Big Special, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, defo, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't sit here and listen to yours. Sit here and listen to your song, please. Big Special coming up after this from Yard Act, and this is We Make Hits.